Tonight on Orient News Extra, watch out as we showcase you the high points of the 2015 Breastfeeding Week celebration in the state. Also tonight, find out the reasons behind single parenthood. And finally, should parents be held responsible for a child's action? All these in a moment after the news highlight by Ugochi Nwachukwu.
My people, my people. My people, my people.
Governor Rochas Okorocha, the senior advocate of the masses.
Hello, good evening. You are welcome back to Orient News Extra, your Sunday night delight. I am Juliet, dealing with the package. Breastfeeding undoubtedly is one of the natural forces that draws a child closer to the mother. This year's World Breastfeeding Week with the theme Breastfeeding and Work, Let's Make It Work was celebrated recently in Owerri. Orient News Extra camera lens caught it all as Ola Ibezim tells us more.
Activities marking this year's Breastfeeding Week in the state was kick-started with a one-day media briefing organized by the Baby Friendly Initiative under the State Ministry of Health. The supervising permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mrs. Lillian Asuzu, highlighted the essence of creating an enabling environment at the workplace for mothers to breastfeed their babies optimally, pointing out that the exclusive breastfeeding was estimated to have the potentials to prevent 13% of all deaths in children.
Breastfeeding Week are to galvanize multidimensional support from all sectors to enable women everywhere to work and breastfeed safely and adequately. Promote actions by employers to welcome family, parent, baby, and mother-friendly, and to actively facilitate and support employed women to support breastfeeding.
The coordinator of the Baby Friendly Initiative under the State Ministry of Health, Chinwe Chukwukere, pleaded with the government to extend maternity leave to 6 months to cushion the difficulties encountered by working nursing mothers. She told mothers to put their babies to the breast immediately after delivery to avail them of the opportunity of the first natural immunity from cholesterol. The State Nutrition Officer, Mrs. Lois Onyike, called on mothers not to relent in breastfeeding even when the babies had grown teeth and could bite.
If the woman goes off local, you can, even after, as far as you can resume sexual intercourse with your wife while breastfeeding.
High points of the Breastfeeding Week was the assessment of some mothers and their babies to select the Imo Baby of the Year. Little Pure Good Ghostlight came third. David Osigwe from Owerri West came second. While Joseph Mmadabuchi from Owerri North emerged the Imo Baby of the Year.
Regarded as the Imo Baby of the Year, Madam Victoria, the mother of the Imo Baby, Mrs. James Mmadabuchi, expressed gratitude to the organizers of the ceremony and encouraged other mothers to practice exclusive breastfeeding. Exclusive
Supportive breastfeeding has been reported by experts as an important immunization that fortifies the baby against infection and bacteria. It is a major child survival strategy, which is also economical as it saves mothers the financial stress of buying baby formula. Ola Ibezim for Orient News Extra.
Moving on, single parenthood is a situation where a man or a woman takes care of a child without the spouse. Was once regarded as uncommon, but today the story is no longer the same, as single parenthood is fast becoming a norm in society. What could be the reason behind such a decision to have a child without a partner? Is it by choice or accident that these young fathers and mothers are now parenting their children all alone? Over now to Mildred and Zigwe to take us on that.
Single father or mother is a parent who is not living with a spouse or partner, who shoulders most of the day-to-day responsibilities in raising a child or children without the physical assistance of the other biological parents. Some of these fathers and mothers are either divorcee or widows, while some never marry and chose to take on the advantage of raising a child alone while still in their family house. Why would a person choose to be a single father or mother? What could be the reason behind this?
It is highly incidental. There could be many factors, that could push either a woman or a man into being a single parent. Besides some social factors, death can also make somebody to be a single parent.
It is an issue of circumstance, where you find yourself. Some could be as a result of death of the opposite partner, as the case may be. It could also be as a result of divorce. It could also be as a result of cultural activities. It could even be as a result of personal decision.
Some of the reasons, maybe some ladies are being, maybe when they are delayed in marriage and other things and time is going, women, they don't have much time. They may decide to have a baby on their own. Secondly, I can say divorce. And thirdly, you see, death can come in as a reason for that.
Most of them are by mistake. Others are maybe accidentally a man and a woman who are married. One of them may die.
It could be the death of a partner. It could be a choice one makes to be a single parent. It's a matter of choice.
It is old age. Some people feel that if they are not married, or maybe late marriage, they choose to have a baby so that at the end of the day, when they're old, those babies can take care of them. And then divorce too can cause it. Death can cause it. I believe that culture, there are some people that believe that they can actually have a baby at home. It doesn't mean anything.
Leading to single parenting, it could be as a result of loss of one's partner. It could be as a result of unwanted pregnancy. It could be as a result of divorces and so many other things leading to it. It can't just be one reason.
The reason for single parenting could be divorce. And again, another one could be personal decision. This one may be possibly on the side of the women. There are some ladies who are not married and maybe who are working, well paid, who also have decided not to marry. They would prefer either going to motherless babies' homes to pick a child by adoption, or some, get pregnant and deliver the child, bear the child and take care of the child alone.
Single fatherhood and motherhood is viewed by many differently. Back in the days, society branded single parents with much negativism and criticism. However, as the years rode by, being an unmarried father or mother no longer carries the social stigma that it used to, and many are beginning to join in the league of single parents, which is now on its increase. How would you feel being a single parent? Is it a normal thing that should be encouraged or discouraged?
Definitely, it is not good. It is not good because a family is made up of the father and the mother, then teaming up together to train the children. We know how it is to people who are, complete, the man and the woman. It is not very easy for them to take care of their children. Then not to talk of when one person is doing the work of two people. It's never easy and shouldn't be encouraged. And as well, you cannot give all it takes to train a child. I think it is not good and it should not be encouraged.
I wouldn't say it should be discouraged because sometimes the reasons leading to it can never be avoided. And then so many people get, entangled in raising their kids on their own single-handedly because of one or two reasons. So I wouldn't say it should be discouraged.
The single parent should not be encouraged. But in the case of a man and a woman, one of them dies, there's nothing you can do. So in this situation, she has to carry up that responsibility.
Really something one could say you encourage or discourage, because it all depends on the capacity of the parent, the single mother or the single father. If you think you can handle the child or the children on your own, good and fine, go ahead and handle them. But if you think it's something that will be a burden on you, you can go and find a partner. It's not something one could say go ahead and do it, or something one would say do not do it.
Personally, it should be discouraged. Especially, it shouldn't be something that somebody will fully enter into. So it should be discouraged.
Well, that life is full of ups and downs. Ideally, it should not be encouraged. But when we come into life, life hands things to us that we may not actually have, set out to have. So if life hands you any of those things, the best to do is just to get up and face the challenges of such things.
No one would discourage or wish to encourage one who finds himself under such a situation. But what I want to say is that if you realize as an individual that being a single father or being a mother, being a father or being a mother, raising children by yourself is not something that is convenient for you, you therefore have to think of aligning yourself with such a situation or a partner that will bring the much needed desire.
Research has shown that children growing up with single parents have a high risk of experiencing cognitive, social, and emotional problems, and likely to misbehave more than those born into traditional two-parent families. What effect could this have on the children and society at large?
There's always a vacuum there. When a child is raised by a single parent, he or she misses the other sex. They might tend to be a little bit shy from the other sex because they are always inclined to the parent that raised them. It could be the mother or the father. So they might see the opposite sex as not being too accommodated because they were raised by a mother or a father. So basically, it will also influence the way they deal with people outside the environment.
It is hazardous. Because, let me say, on the child first, any child brought up under single parenting loses his self-esteem if care is not taken. It may not be generally concluded, but on a high rate, and the background where he's coming from, especially those who are born outside marriage. Again, on the society, some of the children born in such families may come up one day, sometime to become touts. Some will be miscreants and some will be nuisance.
A lot of things happen to them. There are places where parents are supposed to say, don't take this decision, take this route. And there's nobody to, actually tell them to take that route. The option is to follow the world. And once they follow the crowd, a lot of other things come up. But there are people too who have actually, risen above such challenges. But you can say they are tiny drops. You can really count them on your fingers.
Well, first for the children, you may realize that it's individual differences. It varies from home to home. Some of these children grow up stronger under single parents than where you have a normal parenting. But be that as it may, I think it is dependent on what God's purpose was for every human being.
They suffer a lot because when that their mother could not or their father could not take good care of them, I mean, that makes them to suffer in the other way around.
But the children that are raised under single parents, they grow up not having that fatherly care, and that it makes them sometimes, a good number of them are rascals in the society. Nobody can call them to order. They begin to act as nuisance in the society.
It had so many effects, the good ones and the bad ones. The good ones are, I would say it's more of good effects in the society, because you find out that the ones being raised by single parents, they ended up being something meaningful, because the parent will strive to make sure that single-handedly raises the children very well, knowing that he or she is doing it without any other person's help, but only the grace of God. So most of the times it has a very good effect on the children.
Most people choose to become single parents themselves for reasons best known to them, while others don't. But could there be circumstances that led them to such situation? We should, as much as possible, avoid being a single parent because of its negative effects on the children and society at large. The thought of having a child or children without a father or mother should be discouraged. Mildred Nzigwe reporting for Orient News Extra.
Yes, my dear, we should, as much as possible, avoid being a single parent because of its negative effects. Still on family issue, being a parent is one of the most challenging but rewarding experiences anyone could ever have. It is the longest task and responsibility that an individual will ever perform. With society today being bedeviled by all manner of atrocities committed by children and youths, Orient News Extra reporter Esther Gordons went out to ask if parents should be held responsible for a child's action. Her reports.
Parenting involves protecting, nurturing, and guiding a child. It involves a series of interactions between the parent and the child. Parental care ensures the steady growth, quality, and survival of the child. Parenting is important as it either makes or mars the child's future. What are the roles of parents in the upbringing of a child?
You take care of the children, clothe them, house them, give them sound education.
As a good Christian parent, they should train their children well, give them a good education background. That's the most important thing. When they're educated, they will know the right thing to do. And also, they should give them good shelter and give them a good background.
Thank you very much. The roles of the parents is to look after their children, to train them, to guide them, and to protect them.
As a parent, you train them in a godly way so that when they grow, they will not misbehave.
Parents are to bring up their children in a God-fearing way. The moment you get an upstream, what to do, you have to train them properly in a way that they will become useful citizens in the society. So
train them in a way that they will become responsible citizens in the society. Give them sound education that will enhance what they are going to be in future.
Taking care of the education, if they are sick, taking them to the hospital. If anything happens, the parents are there to take care of their children.
Raising a child is the most tasking responsibility parents and guardians can undertake. But when relegated to the background by parents, can result in so many problems. What are the effects of poor parental care?
Poor parenting makes children to lag behind, moreover those who are naturally intelligent. You see, for not being exposed to education, they tend to derail from naturally what they were supposed to be.
When a child is not properly brought up, remember,
all these touts that we are having, all nooks and crannies, most of them are as a result of children that came from, poor parents. So when you look at it, a good number of atrocities that we are having today.
It tells on the children. They will not have sound education. They will not do things by the time they're supposed to do it like others.
The child may not have enough in the society. That if anything happens along the line, the child can meet up with others.
Like there's no way you can compare a child that is educated and the one that is not educated. As I said, when a parent educates their children, now these children, they will learn good things. They won't be wayward in life. Or like a child that didn't go to school. If a child didn't go to school, the child will maybe join gang, become armed robbery, and be a nuisance to the society, unlike those that are educated.
And those children will be lacking so many things. Clothing, even schooling, so many things in their life. And they can move out from the house to look for their welfare elsewhere. Even can lead them to be stealing other people's something.
Parents are the most influential role models children are likely to have, and whatever character they display are captured and replicated by the children, especially those from broken and abusive homes. Now, is lack of parental care an excuse for a child to misbehave?
Well, it affects the behavior of the kids. If a poor parenting affects the behavior of children somehow. Yes, they will behave anyhow they like because the parent is not taking care of them. It will affect their behavior. Yeah, it will affect them actually.
So most times it does make some children to deviate. At times, any person who wants to be very responsible enough may even be praying to God that one day it shall be well.
Not really. There is an English adage which said, "Heart condition raise better men." It's not an excuse. Really, I've seen people who struggle in a garret and died in a pallet.
Not all that, because outside the parents, have other agents that take care of bringing up a child. Have the church, have schools, every other thing. So the child has no excuse that maybe the parent did not teach him or that, then he decided to misbehave. No, it's not an excuse.
As the nature of the economy and the working condition of workers does not allow parents spend more time with their children, how can the issue of poor parental care be stopped?
That they should play their role as parents, train the child in the right way as it is said in the scripture.
Every parent must make sure that the children which you have brought out in this world, you must try to find something doing so as to help.
Parents should take care of their children. Take care of when you know you are not due to settle down, you wait. I think they should strive. They should try to train up their children, whatever the condition. At least give them a little education, basic education.
They should ask God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and they know the way to follow their children. Because parenting is not something that you will do on your own. You have to ask for God's wisdom before you do anything you are doing.
It is absolutely necessary for parents to be of exemplary conduct because parents are like a mirror. The reflection it gives, the child adopts. However, the child's upbringing should not be left for the parents alone. The church, the community, even teachers have a role to play in this regard. This is important because a child who is a burden or is criminally minded becomes a threat, not only to himself or the parents, but to the community at large. Remember, if the gardeners are good, the flowers will bloom. I am Esther Gordons reporting for Orient News Extra.
That's all we have for you on today's edition of your Sunday Night Delight. But before we go, hear this. You have got to follow your passion. You have got to figure out what is it you love, who you are, and have the courage to do that. I believe that the only courage anybody ever needs is the courage to follow your own dream, because circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. All right, see you again next week, Sunday, God willing. Good night.